let's start with good news. Last night, County Council announced 236 new jobs and millions in new investment. And wages for most of these companies are north of $20 an hour. Is this just more to come? I mean, it seems like every council meeting there's some new company coming in expanding jobs. What's this a bellwether, Rusty?
There's a whole lot of activity in economic development. You're right about last night. Top Edge, the press release just came out on that. That's a nice company. They make trusses. That's going to be in the Townville area. We're really proud about that. Then you have the plastic Omnium expansion, and that's about 120 jobs, pay about $29 an hour. We're really excited about that. We also had first reading on, we also finished up another solar farm here in Anderson County, which they don't provide any jobs, but it's another added thing for our solar system. And not the big solar system, but our little solar system
and
here.
$50 million more dollars.
And $50 million more dollars. I mean, the taxes on that
or
property.
68 million, man. I'm trying to
68, I think.
Yeah.
But the taxes on that were around $2,700 a year. Now they're going to be much, much more than that. So that's going to be good for the county's bottom line. And they're passive. They don't bother anybody. And a lot of these things help a lot of landowners stay on their land, keep land in the family. And they do have a time limit when they expire, and then the people have to come back and remove all that. So we did that last night. We have more coming, a lot more job announcements coming. We finally know, the name of the hydroponic plant company. And if you ever happen to go to the grocery store and you go over and look in the herb section and you look for that label on there that says Tasty, that's who they are. And they sell at most every grocery store around here a whole variety of herbs. So we're really happy about that. Last night, after a long process, council voted on an historic partnership with ANMED. ANMED and the county are joining together to place QRVs, quick response vehicles, all over the county, which will be manned by paramedics. And this is going to be just a wonderful situation. ANMED is putting in $1.4 million. We are placing these all over the county. We're going to be going into a lot of fire stations, and we're excited about that. And we think it's really going to make a difference in health care in Anderson County, because these people are top of the line, and they will be there probably first. And we're really happy about that. But what we're also hoping is they become more of a community-based paramedic, where they can go check on Uncle Joe. Is he taking his medication? I just got out of the hospital. I'm not feeling so good. Let's go check it out. Try to prevent multiple hospital visits. And so we're really excited about that. Council approved that last night. Council's very excited about it. Again, we're excited about that partnership with ANMED.
And they're adding ambulances and these QRVs you're talking about.
Well, the QRVs are going to be quick response vehicles. They're going to be Tahoes and things like that. We're the people who are going to get there first, just about 95% of the time, and get there and try to stabilize you, check out the situation. They also approved a contract last night with MedSure, who are going to be basically the ambulance service. So, the county will get there, stabilize you. Do you need to go ride in that ambulance? Is an ambulance even necessary? And if so, then you will be carried to the hospitals by MedSure. And so that's going to be another huge component. And I just think this is going to double the amount of emergency personnel available in Anderson County. We're going to set up at Fork Rescue Squad. We're setting up at Whitefield Fire Department, Cheddar Fire Department. All over the county, these vehicles are going to be there. And it's just going to be a great thing for this. I think we're going to be twice as safe as we were before because of the number of emergency personnel on the road. And we're wrapping these vehicles in a special wrap that we've done in cooperation with ANMED. They're really going to be distinctive. You're going to know what it is when you see it. So
that's been talked about a long time. This unified
has been talked about for 30 years. And so finally, council voted on it last night, and it's going to become a reality, and we're going to make it a success. So that's big time stuff. That's big news.
Have you had any updates on how the county can use pandemic relief funds that are coming?
Well, yes, we do, but we know that we can use it for water and sewer. We can use it for some recreation. The final rules haven't come down. Even the final rules or the semi-final rules that came down have changed. But those things, infrastructure and replacing money lost by counties and cities during the coronavirus outbreak, which is going back up right now as we speak, I would probably tell you there's 75 people at ANMED right now with the coronavirus and probably at least 14 in the ICU right now.
Well, is the county thinking about masking up in buildings and stuff? Is there any move?
Right now we're just monitoring the situation, and that's where we are right now, looking at that situation.
1,600 new cases in the last 2 weeks, and so right now you didn't make any decision about that. What's
No.
emergency management doing to prepare for what could be a really scary fall?
Same thing we did in the past. If we need a protective equipment, things like that, if we need to go assist a plant to stay open, just whatever we can do and provide information, provide the counts, but we're ready to go. If anything needs to be ramped up, we can do that. We can spin that up in a day. That's how good they are over there.
So this time I have to wait on ordering equipment. Everything's in place,
No, we're
masked,
good.
and everything's ready
We're
to go.
good. We're good to go.
The other thing council talked about last night was they finalized details on the conservation development guidelines for subdivisions. Why has so much time been devoted to that?
Well, what they're trying to do, what council wanted to do, is to provide another way to develop property in Anderson County. They're trying to get away from so much of a cookie cutter subdivision. And what this does, it actually reduces the lot sizes that you can build on, but it increases the amount of green space that is available in those subdivisions. It makes them prettier and more attractive, but it's also an incentive for the developer. Instead of having to go to a large lot, they can do a smaller lot, but because you have all of this green space, you in essence have a huge front yard, backyard, and side yard. So that's why it's exciting. We also believe it will bring down development cost, because there's no reason to do a conservation subdivision that nobody's going to do. Because at the end of the day, a developer's not going to build anything if they're not going to make any money. So it's just another tool, and a very exciting tool that Anderson County has for people wanting to develop in Anderson County. The other thing they passed last night was the private road ordinance, which has also been discussed for a long time. And what this will do, in a lot of cases you'll have a family, say the family farm, and everybody's moved away, but you want to keep some of the family farm, but maybe you want to let some of that on the road be developed. Well, this gives that homeowner, that property owner, the right to sell off those lots on the road in a strictly controlled environment, and it makes it really easier on families if you want to look at it. It's a family-friendly development tool. So council's been working on that for a long time. So those are two new things in land use that we have available now.
And that conservation also helps with runoff and
It helps
water
with
issues.
water runoff. It helps with a multitude of issues, but it's a good piece of legislation.
The census numbers are finally coming in, and they show the county has more than 204,000. Do you think that's a good count?
I think everybody in the United States always thinks the census is undercounted. And as you know, we're still waiting on the definitive final numbers in September. But we've said for about 5 or 6 years we thought it would be 204,000, and so it came in at 204,000. It's probably more than that. And from when the census was completed to where we are now, I know we've had another 1,000 people move into the county, but we're going to deal with that and work with that. But we're almost 10% growth in Anderson County. That's good. If you look across the state and even look at some of our neighbors, they're losing population. But Oconee, Pickens, Anderson, Greenville, Spartanburg, booming in this area.
The only area that seemed to be shrinking a little bit is the Star Iva area. Is there any sort of strategic plan in the works to help them grow?
Well, you know, the hydroponic plant we put down there is in that district. There are probably 1,000 jobs that you can get and live in Star and Iva right now, well-paying jobs. And I think that, as we've talked before, you're seeing that development starting in Powdersville. It's going towards Piedmont. It's going towards Belton. It's beginning to touch Honeypath, and I believe that area is going to grow.
And I think the people forget the proximity of Ivan Star to multiple lakes. That's something people don't
Well,
think
they
about.
call themselves the gateway to the lakes, and they're right there with all the lakes. Lake Secession, that's really Iva's Lake, and then you have Lake Hartwell and you have Lake Russell. I mean, it's a beautiful place, and that part of the county is absolutely beautiful. And you're getting people moving down there, but they're buying 3, 4, and 5 acres, and they're building homes down there.
It's affordable too for those
And
kind of.
it's affordable. It won't be affordable forever.
The most interesting thing in the census to me was the jump in median income in the county from 39,000 to 54,000. Is that, you think, due in part to the economic development
No,
strategy?
I don't think that's in part. I know it's because of that. Just use Tommy Dunn as a marker. When he came on council around 12 years ago, our median wage was, our median income was around 38,000. Now it's 52. Why is that? Because of manufacturing that's moved in and offering a better wage and a better life and a better career. And that's going to continue to go up. We're also very excited, and I've said this before, where our average wage was around $13 an hour and now it's almost 21. That touches people. That makes people have a life. They can buy things. They can buy cars. They can take care of their kids. It's always about providing good jobs so people can take care of themselves. And we're going to continue doing that. You saw it last night. We've got more coming. We may have an economic development announcement every day for the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with plenty more coming.
How does that median income spin out into the county and also make it attractive for people moving here?
Well, when that income's up, you have more people who want to build a store here, more people who can afford to have a small business, more service industries. It's just good for everybody. But it's also good for people going to school, and let's don't be on the free lunch program. Here's a chance for us to all rise together. I'm sorry. Increasing wages, median family income, that's good for everybody in every way.
The Senate says now they're expected to have the redistricting done by October. Are we any closer to predicting how that's going to impact Anderson County?
Very interesting because I can pretty much tell you that Senator Cash's district will probably have to shrink, and Senator Gambril's will probably have to increase. So you're going to see a whole lot of different line drawing. It just depends on where they can go and how they can do it. But we're not too far behind from redistricting for county council.
That's what I was
because
gonna
we had some significant changes there. And when we get those final numbers in September, we'll know what's what. But we already know right now that Councilman Jimmy Davis in Powdersville, geographically, his district will shrink. So, yeah, there's going to be some wobbling and moving around. But you do this every 10 years.
How does the council redistricting work? Who sits down and...
Well, the state will do it for you, but we work with the state. And what we try to do is it has to be equal. It's not an arbitrary thing. You get 10,000, you get 5. And you have to balance those numbers to make it work. And it's a juggling act. And so we just work with it until we get something that's right and something that's fair to everybody. And it's a process.
Yeah, it wasn't so dramatic last time, it didn't seem.
No, but we've got those increase in population, which I'm saying is almost 20,000. You've got some big things to move around.
One of the other sort of sideline big news items was we have the fastest growing town in the state.
Yes, we do. We have Pelzer that went from 89 to well over 1,000. But if you didn't know, that's because Pelzer annexed a whole lot of property. So that's where that all of a sudden growth came from. But we're happy for that, and we're working with Pelzer to help them manage that new situation. So that's been good. But there's been growth all over Anderson County.
I was just wondering if Mayor Will Ragland would use that in his promotional efforts over there, fastest growing city in the...
Well, he might very well. He should brag about that.
Right. As we move toward the end of the summer, we just talked about the virus thing. Have y'all met on that? Have you met with David Baker or any of them to make any preparations, or y'all just kind of
I'm
watching?
members of council, and I talk to David Baker on a regular basis, and I talk with most everybody involved in that on a regular basis. Yes, we talk a lot, a whole lot.
So that can just change if we have a huge spike somewhere. Like all those decisions can be made quickly. Y'all ready to move?
We've already learned how to do that.
The moratorium on evictions was pushed till the end of the year, which means a lot of people face literally being put out in the cold this time. But they're saying this is the final, last, never again extension.
But we have a solution for a whole lot of people, And that's the millions of dollars we have that we're working with AIM for rent and utility assistance. If you find yourself in that situation, call AIM, go to your computer, go to your smartphone, and there is assistance there to help you catch up and get a little bit ahead. It's a wonderful program. AIM makes it as easy as any program can be that involves federal regulations. So you should take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that's they're still getting the word out, but people for some reason are just not digesting how serious this issue is. A lot of people don't seem to realize that.
Well, there's no reason for you not to take that chance and to try and be made whole.
Well, the days of summer are growing shorter. Let's evaluate Green Pond Landing in the Event Center from so far this year. What do you think is happening in Green Pond, and what's going to come soon out there?
Well, the next biggest thing is going to be Bassmaster Classic. And they should be moving in the barge to begin work on the new pier. And the amphitheater is 90% complete. So we've got that going, but we're also very excited about the $350,000 that Representative Westcox got for Dolly Cooper. And we're also excited about the $50,000 contribution from New Spring to build picnic facilities at Dolly Cooper. So we've got stuff going there. Last night, council awarded the contract to begin more work at Wellington Park, which I'm extremely excited about. It's going to be some unique and innovative things down there. It's going to be ADA accessible. So we're happy about that. But there's a whole lot of activity going in parks. We signed off yesterday on the final design for Kidventure, the project that Anderson County's doing, the City of Anderson, the Rotary Club, and Friends of the Park. And hopefully, if everything goes well, it will be a new Kidventure there by Memorial Day. That's our goal. And so we're very excited about that. And I think we've got some things planned that people won't even expect, but I know it's going to go over like gangbusters. So we're happy about that.
Is anybody going to begin programming concerts and stuff out at the amphitheater at Green Pond, or is that?
Oh yeah, we're talking about that when that gets ready. I think what I would like to see is Shakespeare by the Lake. I'm trying to figure out how you have Shakespeare by the lake and then a boat goes by. But maybe we'll do the Tempest and you can work it in. You know, we don't know how we're going to do that. But definitely we want to have concerts out there.
Speaking of the lake, that much anticipated Shores at Asbury has faced all sorts of regulatory, management, weather, shipping challenges, and it looks like they may be on track to open in 2022 now. The county subleasing the core property to this development group, are they reporting progress regularly to you guys? Are y'all following up on what they're doing?
Yes, we stay in close contact not only with them, but also with the Corps of Engineers. Because while the Corps of Engineers subleased it to us, they're still very much involved. So yes, we're on that. And we watch that closely to make sure they do it right, but also are they on time and all of that. Yes.
Are y'all getting a lot of questions about it? I mean,
we get a lot of questions on when's it going to open.
Right.
We want to go there.
Any other news surrounding the lake? I know you're always looking at the lake for something else.
Well, that and it's continuing to be a cash cow for Anderson County and continues to bring people in here. But one other thing that we are very excited about that happened yesterday. And I give Steve Newton all the credit in the world for this. But we received a grant yesterday that's going to help a lot of our nonprofits because they fit the criteria. And our Rainbow Gang, where you know what our Rainbow Gang is, well, they did something nobody else had ever done. They went virtual last year during the pandemic. And we were written up all across the country because of their work, their brains. But we got a grant for $20,000 to assist them in that endeavor, to make it even more so. So if the pandemic hits or somebody can't participate in those activities, they'll be able to participate remotely. The other thing we got, and I'm very excited about this, is in cooperation with South Main Mercy Center, we received $50,000 for the Ride to Work Anderson program. And it's a pilot program run out of the Mercy Center to help people get to work and back. And we think that's going to be a wonderful trial balloon before we do that countywide. But they're going to be awarded $50,000.
How will that work? We've talked about ride to work stuff before. How will that work?
They, I think, are looking to do it, with individuals. But the Reverend Kurt Stutler, he could give you the facts and figures on that. Also, we were awarded $65,000 to help the Second Harvest Food Bank. We're very excited about that. Just can imagine all the people they can feed with that. Then another thing I'm extremely excited about is $30,000 for mental health first aid. Pandemic has caused a lot of problems, but it also revealed a lot of problems people have with mental health. You know, it's hard being alive sometimes, and hopefully this money can be used to assist people. The other thing that we got, and we did this through the United Way community partner thing, and Crossways Ministries Addiction Recovery is going to get $10,000. Foothills Alliance Domestic Violence Sexual Assault Response Recovery Services $40,000. Hearts in Harmony Equine Recreational Therapy. I'm happy about that. And $40,000 to Upstate Warrior Solutions for wellness activities. So we think that's just absolutely wonderful. And again, congratulate Steve Newton, who's always out there looking to see if there's any stray money and to make sure Anderson County gets their share.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, that there's a lot of grant money out there that's going to go somewhere. And is Steve the point person on looking to find that money? Do people come and say, hey, we need money for this, or y'all are just always on the
We're
lookout?
always on the lookout. I know some people say, well, grant money is not really grant money, it's taxpayer money. That is the gospel truth. But as long as they're going to put these programs out, we're going to make sure that Anderson County gets a high return on their dollar. I think 2 weeks ago, we had like a $2.5 million week. That's money that we don't have to raise taxes. Now, they're raising taxes somewhere, but they're not raising taxes here. They haven't in 13 years. But anytime we can find a way to get money to help people in Anderson County, we're going to do that. Because that's the only reason we're here. There's no other reason for the county government to exist other than to help people. So we're happy about that.
Well, and the grants you just listed there were health care, workforce development.
How to get to work.
Yeah.
How to deal with your mental health.
Yeah.
How to get equine therapy.
Working with special populations.
And working with special populations. I mean, you know, that's what we're supposed to do.
I mean, people think about grants, they talk about frivolous. They don't think about grant money being used for...
Well, I mean, if $50,000 to help people eat, I don't think that's frivolous. I think that's a blessing.
Well, Labor Day is 2 weeks away, and that means Celebrate Anderson is gearing up for return. If somebody has never been to Celebrate Anderson, tell them what they can expect.
Well, you need to come out there, especially if you have small children. You need to come out there around 12 o'clock because we're going to have free kiddie rides. Kiddie rides. We're not going to have the bullet. And we're also going to have the return of balloons. The balloons will return on Saturday night before the Sunday event. So we will have balloons on the balloon launch field Saturday night. We will also have balloons all day that Sunday. And hopefully we're going to be offering tethered rides. So then at 5 o'clock we're going to open up, and our headliner is going to be John Michael Montgomery. And that will take place. Then we will have about a 15-minute or 18-minute fireworks show from Zambelli. We're going to have a lot of other static displays. We're going to have food trucks. If you have a cooler and you want to bring your own food, please feel free to do so. And the cost of this is nothing. It costs nothing, not anything, and it is all outdoors. And we will have music playing from around 12:30 until the real music starts in the amphitheater. T.L. Hanna Jazz Band will be back. We have the winner of the United Way's Anderson Idol. He's going to be there too. So we're expecting a good, fun night outside, and we're all going to be safe and well and have a good time outside in the wonderful fresh air. Outside.
Any other news coming from the Civic Center in the next couple of months?
Oh, we've got some concerts we're trying to nail down there after this, but that Civic Center is used every day of the week just about. Either we're having, last Saturday night we had Miss Anderson pageant. The night before, the next night we've had the Farm Bureau with 500 people out there. So there's always something going on at the Civic Center.
There's pickleball still.
Pickleball is still the rage.
Golf
if we built 85,000 pickleball courts, it wouldn't be enough. We're going to put some at Dolly Cooper Park. We're looking to do some work, Councilman Davis is, at Hurricane Springs Park. But, I mean, you can't build enough pickleball courts right now.
You played yet?
No, but I'm going to because I think I can do that. I've had to retire from basketball.
Maybe we should take up pickleball.
I think we should.
Just no cameras.
No cameras.
I'm hoping one of these days you're going to surprise me when I ask you this question, but is there any progress on the Courthouse Square property?
Still can't find anything that we like, and thinking very seriously about turning it into the Great Lawn until something happens, and thinking more on that every day, because we can no longer continue to have the elephant pen with no elephants.
No elephants. Yeah, if you had some elephants, you'd have something there.
We would have something there, but I think that's what we're thinking about doing, because it's just not the right time, not the right design to put something there, and everybody loves nice green open space.
Would that take very long if y'all decided to put dirt in?
No, it wouldn't take very long, but it's not a flat area.
Right.
And so we would have to do some work there, but I think that would be nice. But council's seen a lot of things that want to go there, and they're just not right.
But there's a good chance maybe this year to turn it into green, or we don't know.
Oh, it's going to happen this year.
Okay. Construction also contingent on that walking track that'll go from the ANMED campus on 81 to the Civic Center. There still doesn't seem to be any visible work on the McConnell Springs Road side. Do you know when they'll start working on that side?
Well, the intent was always to finish this side out near the Civic Center first before they really hit the other side. And that was always the intent. But I will tell you, one of the things, the mayor of Clemson, Councilman John Wright, us, and the city's expressed some interest. Clemson has a very aggressive trail program, and we have 8 miles of trail. People sometimes don't say, well, why don't y'all have a trail? Well, when this is finished from the Civic Center at 81, we'll have 8 miles. But their Green Crescent Trail project, wouldn't it be wonderful if we stretched that all the way from the city of Anderson to Pendleton to Clemson to Central and all of that connected? We're going to have discussions on that coming up here pretty quick to see if we can make that happen. I believe if everybody pulled together, that would be very exciting.
Well, that sounds like something that everybody would benefit from.
Everybody would benefit, everybody. Sandy Springs, LaFrance, everybody would benefit from it, and it would get massive use. So we're not close, but we're talking real seriously.
So you just have to figure out where to put it, I guess, is the main, where that trail would go.
Yeah, but there's a way.
That would be one of the longer trails anywhere.
Yes, it would.
And of course, the city is trying to get all their trail system to connect to the Civic Center and everywhere else too. So
just imagine that.
And you know, that kind of, people love to get out and walk, and they love the trail thing. And I know one of the things that I know y'all are not directly involved in, but District 5's cross country expansion out there at Duckworth.
Oh, we are making contributions to that, because they have an $80,000 sewer capacity fee that our council's not going to waive. So that's money they won't have to pay. And we're looking at other ways to make that happen, because not only is that going to be good for Anderson County, School District 5, and everybody else who goes to the Y, we also think it has great potential to attract tourists here, because as nice as it's supposed to be, I think you'll have people coming here for events, a whole lot of events. That's going to put money in our accommodations tax, put money in restaurants, put money in stores, and bring people to Anderson. And you would be amazed how many people come to Anderson to visit. I mean, there's a lot to do here. Sometimes we get jaded because we're here. Other people come here and they go, wow, this is really nice.
And we kind of circle back around to this when we talk about economic development, but these quality of life things we're talking about are far more important than a lot of people realize.
Quality of life drives just about everything. Companies don't move to a place where their employees have nothing to do. They're not going to send in a lot of talent where there's nothing to do.
It doesn't matter what the roads are or anything else.
I mean, what are we going to do? Parents with young children, parents with old children, they want something for them to do. And I can't wait for Kidventure to be reinvented and redone in a way that I think is going to amaze people.
And this is phase 1. What is phase 1 in
It's more than phase 1. We kind of making it phase 1.02, and we're just seeing what the bids come in, but it's going to be eye-opening.
And there's a substantial amount of money being spent there too.
Substantial amount of money being spent
between the county and the city. And
county, city, the Rotary Club, and Friends of the Park. And the dog park is almost completed. So we're getting very close to that, which is a dog park, but it's also a people's park, and they'll have their own amphitheater, so we're excited about that. And we're excited about working with the City of Clemson And Pendleton, I think on September 7th, Pendleton and Anderson are going to pass that thing to build that joint sewer treatment plant up in the Pendleton area. So that's a good lick for us. More economic development. If everything stays on track right now, and we keep having the weather we've had, I'm pretty sure that the Christmas tree might be 4 feet taller this year.
4 feet taller. What does that bring us to? Do you know the total height?
I think it's 54 off the top of my head.
We're closing in on
But-
Rockefeller Center if we keep going at this rate.
But here's the great thing.
You know, that's only 100 days from where we sit to the unofficial tree lighting.
Well, that is wonderful news. But here is a special attraction that we will have this year. We reached out to the Pelzer Light people. So for the Christmas tree lighting, our special guest, in addition to Santa Claus, who's the specialist guest, the Pelzer Light people will be here live in downtown Anderson. And we're excited.
And we're 100 days away.
And 100 days away.
Okay, well, next time we catch up, we're going to be closer to Halloween than we are Labor Day, so I'll talk to you then.
And we'll talk about what the Cancer Society is doing for their Howling in the Park event, because they're trying to raise money for the Cancer Association. And as much work as they're putting in it, that ought to be a big event. They've done a lot, but I think they may be coming back downtown. So we're going to see.